2008, January, in the shack of WA7MLH Salem, Oregon. And this is a shot of a BC348 carcass that I got from Wes Hayward, W7ZOI. And I did a whole bunch of mechanical fix-up on it and got the backlash essentially close to zero, and was able to piece together right now a 20-meter sideband CW receiver in it that is based upon a 7.5 megahertz IF, and the crystal filters and all the circuitry was something that was patched together over the winter of late winter of 2007. But the crystal filters were done back in the late 80s, and I found them in a box here and decided to put them to use and put them inside of a box big enough to expand upon. The big black rectangle is a speaker cover, and the dial mechanism leaves something to be desired, but it's still very, very useful, and it's just has a really nice feel mechanically while tuning. And the next rig is a homebrew 75-meter single sideband CW transceiver, and this one also could be multi-banded pretty quickly, at least dual-banded very easily. This is based upon an 8 megahertz IF where I've got 10 crystals in about a 0.2 to 0.25 dB Chebyshev response. So I've got some pretty good skirts on it. And this also has the latest December 2007 QST article that Wes and I did on a new hybrid AGC IF amplifier, which is built into this rig. And I did extend the IF AGC amp with some extra op amps that in a circuit that Wes had recommended to drive a speaker, and so I've got a pretty nicely behaved S meter now. And this rig right now will put out about 50 watts with the adjacent IRF 511 balanced hex fed amplifier running on, and it's probably about a 20 volt supply, and I would like to bump that up a little bit more. Here is a CW keyer. This is a memory keyer that was done by the Northern California QRP Club, and I added a 555 timer to it so that it can be operated in a beacon mode where it will call CQ as long as I want, and I can interrupt it by just pressing a switch on the back. And that lets me work on rigs and putz around in the shack without having to be tied down to a key for calling CQ. And the latest rig that I did here very recently is an LM21 style frequency meter. And I gutted this just for the mechanism, decided to just stick with the knobs and the front chassis as an experiment just to see how it would play. And there are associated pictures on the website that go with this. I might wedge some here into this little video clip. And this right now is a 40-meter receiver, super het, but it will be able to do 80 meters very quickly with just a little bit of extra wiring change and utilizing the band switch on the front, because the IF is based upon a 750 kilohertz crystal filter, another one that I got from Wes after I found out that the 1753 kilohertz crystals I had that I got at one of the Hamfests just did not have the Q capable of really doing a reasonable single sideband bandwidth, especially down at that low frequency. So with the 1750 IF, I can run one LO into it and just switch the bandpass filters at the antenna port and pick off either the 80 meter and 75 meter band or 40 meters. And right now this is playing pretty nicely for 40 meters. I haven't done a whole lot of testing on it. I realized I probably want to pop a little bit more IF gain into it. But it's been on the air and heard lots of JAs on 40 CW and heard Europe the other morning. Now here is my 30 meter CW transceiver. Speakers on the left with 25 watt single-ended power amplifier. And let's see, this transceiver runs a European color burst crystal filter at 4433 kilohertz. And I've got 5 of the crystals in cone topology, so the coupling coefficients or the capacitors are all equal. I'm going to fix that here shortly. But this rig plays pretty nice right now. It does not have AGC on the IF, which is I've just grown accustomed to, so that's rather annoying, but I live with it. And this is something that I'm going to rebuild into a newer box because there's no more room to work in there, and I just hate working in the tight quarters of some of these smaller boxes. And especially on a rig like this, I would probably never take this out in the field because 30 meters is not a contest band, and there's just not as much activity up there as there used to be. And but that goes to say for all the ham bands. And last but not least is an antenna tuner that I found at a garage sale, and I did some major hack and rebuilt the roller inductor mechanism and added a meter and a return loss bridge, and this thing plays pretty nicely for most of my needs here. It's just a classic T topology CLC match. And then, oh, one last item here is one of my versions of the nano watt meter, and this has probably got about, on this meter I think I probably got about 60 dB, at least 50, but probably 60 dB of actual range on the meter, and go up to about 10 dBm, but I need to do some DC offsets to expand it down a little bit more in terms of the scale. And this was another QST article that was done by WA7MLH, and this meter is one of the most valuable pieces of ham test gear that I have, in that it's a very, very cheap but relatively accurate log scale power meter that is good up into VHF very nicely as is right now. So that's it for the tour of WA7MLH Salem.